Hey everyone, it's Allison from Reclaiming Yesterday, and I'm so excited to be taking over the Feedfeed Snapchat today. Before I get into a little bit about myself, I just want to let you know that today we're going to be making a healthy, super quick, and simple avocado oil mayonnaise. So I work full-time in marketing, and on evenings and weekends, I blog over at reclaimingyesterday.com. About 6 years ago, I traveled to Greece to do a study abroad for college, and I actually ended up meeting my husband over there and stayed with him for the next 2 years. When I lived in Greece, I really fell in love with the way of life over there, just everything, the culture, the people, the scenery, and especially the food. I just really loved the way people treated food over there, just sourcing quality ingredients and really giving food the time and attention it deserves. That experience really shaped my philosophy on food, of just choosing really quality ingredients, taking the time to make good food, and eating with people you love. Okay, so let's jump right into this avocado oil mayonnaise situation. I'm going to do an ingredient list on the next snap, so get ready to screenshot. Okay, so to make the mayonnaise, you're going to need an immersion blender, a cylinder container. This is the one that came with my blender, but you could also use a wide mouth mason jar. You're going to need 1 egg that you've let come to room temperature for about 20 minutes, some kind of acid like lemon juice or vinegar. You need some oil. Today I'm using a mix of light olive oil. You really need light olive oil here because regular has just too strong of a flavor for mayonnaise. And I'm also using avocado oil just because it's super healthy. I love the flavor and it has a pretty green color. It's also just sort of different. You need about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and anything you want to flavor it with. I'm using mustard today, but you could use roasted garlic, any fresh herbs you love. You can keep the mayo simple, or you can really go crazy with flavors like adding sriracha, just anything that you think is delicious, really. Okay, so I squeezed my lemon juice. You're going to need about a tablespoon of that. I cracked my egg to make sure we didn't get any shells, and you're just going to add everything into the container. Now that we've got all of our ingredients in there, we're going to insert our immersion blender to the very bottom and blend for about 20 seconds. After the 20 seconds, we're going to start to make circular motions with our blender while we raise it up. The idea is to get all the oil emulsified. So we usually think of mayonnaise as like an extra or a guilty pleasure that we try to avoid, but when you make it at home, you control the ingredients that go in. And if you use good ingredients, then mayonnaise can actually be really nourishing and healthy. You can use your mayonnaise anywhere that you'd use mayonnaise, obviously, but one of my favorite ways to use it is to make homemade salad dressing. So I'm going to make a quick homemade probiotic ranch dressing with this mayonnaise, and I'll put the ingredient list on the next snap, so get ready to screenshot. Okay, so we'll run through these ingredients quickly. We have our mayonnaise we just made conveniently. You need some sour cream or creme fraiche. You need some kefir, which is just fermented milk. It's sort of like thin yogurt. Some garlic powder, some dried parsley. We need some chives, some fresh dill, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, salt, pepper, a squeeze of lemon juice for freshness. And the secret ingredient is this organic white miso paste. Bottled ranch dressing usually contains MSG, which is one of the reasons you can't stop eating it, but the miso paste really gives you that umami flavor. So it's really savory and delicious, but it doesn't have the negative health effects of MSG. Okay, so I added 2 teaspoons of miso paste and the apple cider vinegar and the squeeze of lemon, and I'm just going to whisk it together so that there are no clumps. You can also sub Greek yogurt for the sour cream if you prefer. I'm going to finely chop up the chives and the fresh dill, and I'm also going to add about a teaspoon of dried parsley and half a teaspoon of garlic powder. So you can see I chopped these up both pretty finely. You want about a tablespoon of each, and you just want to use the thin leafy parts of the dill and not the stems. You can use a quarter teaspoon to a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, just depending on how garlicky you like it, and then just season with salt and pepper to taste. Okay, and then you just want to whisk everything until you get it all incorporated. Alright, and the last step is just adding enough kefir until you get it to the consistency that you want. If you're using the dressing to pour over salad, you probably want something a little bit thinner, but if you're using it as like a dip for veggies, you might want to go with like a little bit less kefir. Kefir has a consistency and a taste that's really similar to buttermilk, which is what you usually use in ranch, and you absolutely can use buttermilk. But the kefir is just going to have like a ton of probiotic benefits that commercial buttermilk just really doesn't have. You'll definitely have some kefir left after this recipe, so you can use it anywhere you would use buttermilk, like pancakes or baking. You could also throw it in a smoothie. Alright, we gotta do a taste test. I'm going in with some broccoli here. It's seriously so good, you guys. Once you go homemade ranch, you'll never go back. Okay guys, that's it for me. I gotta get out of here because my kitchen is hotter than hell, but I'd love to hear from you after this. So hop on over to my Instagram or my Snapchat and come say hi. One last thing before I sign off is that if you're interested in taking over the Feedfeed Snapchat, just send them a message. And if you've been thinking you'd like to do a takeover for a while but you've been hesitating, you should just do it. The best part of this community is that people from all around the world with different views and takes on food can get together and you have something valuable to contribute. Okay guys, have a great weekend and make sure to eat something delicious.